Never had a girlfriend.
All right.
My question is that like, is there hope? I don't know, because it feels like you go out here into the dating scene or try to talk to girls, and it feels like it's just that maybe it's just my approach to how I talk to them, but
Mm-hmm.
it just feels like I don't even get the time of day. Like they're not even interested.
Okay. So, how often do you go and approach somebody?
Like I would try like once a day because I'm in college right now.
Okay, nice.
So I just go to my campus and stuff like that. After class, try to talk to them.
Okay.
It's either I got a boyfriend or I'm not interested.
Okay. That's fine. All right. It's not hopeless, right? There's a lot that you can improve, right? You have to look at this as a skill set, not something that you're either born with. Like a lot of this is going to relate to your mindset. Like some dudes will look at this situation, it's like either I'm a Chad or I'm not, right? And at that point, you're looking at it like it's just natural ability. When you look at it as being a skill set, it's more empowering because skills are learnable, right? So what we have to discern is when I take on clients, brother, there are typically one or three problems that they have, and oftentimes they have multiple. They either don't act in good faith, meaning they're not approaching women or having intentions that are actually good, so they actively hurt the dating pool because of it. That's not your problem, it doesn't sound like. Or they have an issue with, and they have an awareness issue, meaning they don't even know how to read the situation. Or they have fear, right? You don't have the good faith problem. You don't have the fear problem because you're actually approaching. Your problem is awareness, just not knowing what's going on, not knowing where you're gapped. Okay. But that's good because that's the easiest thing to solve. All right.
Okay.
The harder thing to solve would be fear. Like there's a lot of guys in your situation who won't approach at all. And it's so hard to get them to do it. So you even having the willingness to do that gives you a significant advantage. So now it's just a matter of like, okay, I need an awareness of what is going on. So I'll break it down to you like this. This is something I learned from my coach. It's called the three pillars of attraction, right? This is a good tool for you to kind of, it's very descriptive. When you understand the three pillars of attraction, you can see exactly where you're gapped and then what you need to work on, okay? So the first pillar is pre-selection. Pre-selection measures how attractive you are when you enter a room. Like nobody knows you or a woman in question doesn't know you, right? So if she just becomes aware of you, how attractive you are, right? And you grade yourself on a 1 through 10 there, right? When guys talk about looks maxing and things like that, they're improving their pre-selection, okay? So if you do
Okay.
something like looks maxing, you're improving how attractive you are before someone even engages you, okay? The second pillar is persona. Persona measures how attractive you are when you engage somebody. So when you talk to them, okay? So when you learn game and social skills, you're working on the persona element, all right? So things like charisma, push pull, doing code reads, all of those things are working on your persona, okay? The last one is personality. That's a measure of how attractive you are when someone actually gets to know you. So when we talk about attachment styles or confidence and not having fear, that's a measurement of personality. So for you, I would say there's probably a lot of room in the pre-selection category, right? So that's like because these pillars all like feed into one another. I'll give you an example. If your pre-selection is relatively high, you're going to get more opportunities to talk to women, which will increase your persona. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like if you're like the popular guy or like the college athlete, the quarterback of the football team, you have high pre-selection, which means women will actively be open to and probably even initiate conversation with you. You'll have more conversations with women, and then thus you are better at talking to them because you've done it so much, right? So for you, pre-selection is probably going to be the weakest pillar. There will be there will be probably some need to work on that a little bit because if your pre-selection is so low, when you have low pre-selection, you have to compensate with your persona. Meaning, if your pre-selection is like a 3 out of 10, your persona has to be like an 8 out of 10. You gotta it's the sales of attraction. So you got to Wolf of Wall Street that shit. You have to be a phenomenal salesperson, a very charismatic individual to compensate with low pre-selection. So the goal here is to not have any pillar be very low. So without seeing you, I just have to do a quick sniff test. I would say make sure you're in the gym, right?
Alright.
Make sure you are dressing in a way that conveys what you want people to think about you, how you want to be perceived. So you dress like that. So you say, okay, I don't want people to take me serious. What do I want how I dress to say about me? And then start dressing intentionally that way. Okay. Those things will help your pre-selection. What will also help your pre-selection is if you talk to women in an environment where you naturally have higher pre-selection, right? So, like, I give you an example of that because pre-selection is context dependent. If I talk to women on this live, women who are watching me on this live, I have higher pre-selection because this is my space, this is my room. I am the reason why everybody is here, right? So pre-selection is going to be higher. They might be more open to my advances. If I go out to the grocery store right now, the women in the grocery store don't have any context of who I am and the value that I add. So I have to try to convey that in real time in that conversation. It's gonna be more of an uphill battle. You still do it if your persona is high, but
Mm.
it's going to be a more of an uphill battle. So part of pre-selection is also you being thoughtful about what environments you are engaging women in, right? So like another example, let's say you do stand-up comedy, right? You're on the stage making the whole room laugh. You talk to women within that environment, they're probably going to be more open to your approach. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Right. So hopefully that gave you enough to work with, but if you apply even half of what I just said, you're going to see more positive outcomes. Okay.
Alright. Appreciate
Feel
it.
free to
Thank
come
you.
back. Feel free to come back, bro, after you apply some of this, and we'll keep iterating it. All right.
Okay.
All right, Chief. You take care.
You too, man.
Mhm. All right. College is probably the best social situation you could be in. Facts. Definitely a good place to work on your social skills for sure. Surrounded by people all day. Um, 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 um. I like that kid. Thanks for helping him. Absolutely. Yeah, we like the young people here. If y'all have a question pertaining to dating and relationships, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I will bring you up. You can also drop your question in the chat. Whatever you want to do. Callers get first priority, though, all right? Kiara, what's going on? I like how you said dress how you want to be perceived because it's so true, right? People, they don't do that, do they? Yo, what's going on? T Benz, you there? Because I can't hear you. All right, come back when your connection improves. Yeah, no, what's going on? Hello, are you there? If you're there, I cannot hear you. Okay, she must not have meant to come up. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, so I met a guy, a man, very mature, very professional.
Uh
He
huh.
treated me really well, um, but in all our conversations, he, constantly speaks of his ex-wife and,
Hmm.
we started as kind of friendly, but, he told me, I'm interested in you, whatever. I was interested in him as well. Um, I asked him, after a few months, like, where do you think this is going? Um, I finally asked him on Sunday. I had to ask him, I said, you talk about your wife, nonstop. And I just said, do you still love her? You're divorced. Um, if she called you, would you go back with her? And he
Hmm.
said yes.
Hmm.
And so basically, he still texts me, he calls me, He tells me, I'm sorry, I am divorced. It's just hard, but, the answer he gave me kind of helped me make the decision. But, you know, I mean, I guess I appreciate that he was honest with me, but I'm like, why was he like pursuing me so strongly? Why does he still pursue me? Like, I don't know.
He still pursues you after giving you that answer?
Yeah, like he texts me, he says, he's thinking of me, and he apologized. But I told him, no, thank you for being honest. I appreciate that at least you were honest. I said, but I can't put my heart out there knowing that because I said to him, if we were in a relationship and she called you, would you go back with her?
Right.
And then it took him, we were on FaceTime because he lives, a few hours from me. And it took him a few seconds, but it didn't take him much to say what I thought he was going to say.
Right.
And I was suspicious. I kind of knew, like I said, I didn't want to tell him, but I knew, like, when a person can't stop talking about a person. I mean, they were married for so very long, the person he was married to since he was young. Mm-hmm. So I had to step back, but it's hard because I'm like, oh man, I really, really liked him, but, did I make the, I mean, some of my friends are like, oh, maybe you should have kept talking. Like, I don't know, did I make the right decision by, telling him that I had to step away?
Is that your question?
I want to protect myself,
Is your question whether or not you made the right decision?
Yeah, like, I guess that's my question. Like, should I have, continued and just see where it went? But once he told me that, I felt like, yeah, no.
No, you made the right decision. You're thinking about this the right way. There's no need to second guess yourself here, right? Like, I agree. It's good that he told you. Because he could have lied. People often do. Because they lie to themselves. And when you asked him that question, he probably never really considered it. But you also asked, why is he still pursuing you? Because he probably is still interested, but that doesn't change the situation, right? You can't build with somebody who's still caught up on their ex-wife. How long have they been divorced?
I think it's like only going, 2 years now. So
okay.
I mean, but they were married like 27 years. Like, they were married since he was young, and the only children he ever had was with her, and like everything he ever experienced was with her.
Gotcha.
Like, they started their life together. Like, I think they were both like virgins when they got married. Like, it was like a serious, like, committed.
Do you know why they got divorced?
He says that she never really made him feel like she was his friend. Not to be personal, but like their sex life wasn't good. She had, I guess, certain issues from her childhood that he said he tried getting her help, therapy. And I asked him, I said, okay, so knowing all that, I know you still love her, but would you go back even though you knew you weren't happy? I said, because I respect you, so I'm fine, and I appreciate you just were so honest with me. I'm just curious because now my mind is kind of everywhere. He's like, you know what? I'm not sure. He's like, because I know I wouldn't kind of be happy, but I miss like my family. I miss like that aspect of my life, like the kids and just like the family he had. He misses that part of his life.
Sounds like she initiated the divorce, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I really don't remember if he told me if he put the divorce through or she did, but he actually says he wasn't happy. And he actually he told me, I don't think I'd be happy, like, oh my God, I'm so happy, but I'd be happy to have my family back, if that made sense. That's how he told me, literally verbatim.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I can't, but then he keeps, kind of pursuing me, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like your best bet is to cut this off. Don't need to waste any more time with this because this situation is not going to change. You don't want to be in a situation where the ex holds your relationship in their hands. If they just decide to, even if they just do it for petty reasons, they just decide to get the person back and the person is going, you might as well leave that person alone.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Best of luck though.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Right. I don't think Sharon meant to come up. Yo. Hello. A lot of people are not meaning to come up. I don't see how y'all accidentally hit this button. That's quite literally never happened to me before. But if you have a question and you intend to come up, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up. You can also ask your question in the chat, but callers get first priority. Isn't it important to talk about your past relationship to your present relationship? Um, like in what way? Like it depends. Like are you talking about like holistically, talking all about your past relationship or something specific about it? I just want to point out that you accidentally hit the button to be in a battle once. Yeah, that's different though, right? Because I was just hitting shit. But I've never accidentally requested to come up talk to somebody. I don't know about this one. Nope. I don't like that. I don't like that username. Don't like that username. Not bringing him up. No, thank you. I'm starting to get into my pattern recognition bag with some of these callers. Person who asked about sharing past relationships. Um, what did you want to share about your past relationship specifically? She said all. Yeah, I wouldn't. Why? That's what I would like to know. Why would you share everything about your past relationship? How does that help the situation? I guess the man being too nosy? Probably. No, Elvis, you cannot come up because I know you're not really an old man, right? It's in the way that you're talking to me. I know you're not really an old man. You're trolling. Are men even interested in hearing about a woman's past relationship? Absolutely. Yes. It tends to be a masochistic endeavor, but I would say yes. Coconut, what's going on? Okay. Another one. Didn't mean to come up. Uh, what about if you're separated? Would you share? Yes, I would share certain things, like if they ask the question, but I'm not an open book with the shit. Like what are you attempting to accomplish? The men who have sexual fantasies about trans women and any women in general change? Are you dating someone who has those type of fantasies? I think you put like that qualifier, any women in general, to soften the trans thing. I don't, but I would like to double click on it. Are you dealing with someone who has those type of fantasies? Can they change? Yes, but we would also need to have a conversation. also need to have a conversation. Peace. That's a nice profile pic too. You don't have to. You don't have to put yourself through that, love. We can add you to the spreadsheet. We can change your life real quick if you're accepting, right? If you would like to be involved. Let's try this again. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello. I'm from Germany, so I will try to be as clear as possible with
Your
my English.
your audio is kind of very staticky, love.
Okay, let me try my headset. Sorry.
Are you still there?
Does this work?
Yes, perfect.
Is this working now?
Mm-hmm.
Better, okay. Yeah, I'm from Germany, so I'll try to make it as quick as possible and try to be as clear as possible because I don't speak English on a daily basis. So I've been dating or in a relationship with this guy who lives in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same background in terms of moving to Europe, doing our studies and all these things.
Okay.
Long story short, I finished with my studies and I'm working right now. I have a stable job, stable life, everything. For his side, he's still figuring this out. I mean, he's still doing his studies, but a lot of things are on the way with his job and circumstances as a man, what he wants to accomplish, I would say.
Uh-huh.
He lives in another country in Europe, so it's a distance relationship, more or less. It's been 14 months since we met, and then we try to make it work. Most of the time it's me who went and visited him and made the effort because there's a little bit like a financial issue there. So I did make this gesture, I would say, or for me it was important to just do this step. So I questioned this, how long I could do this, because he puts this education thing as a milestone, before he finishes this, he will not be committed to, we talk about marriage, so for this next phase, we're now in a relationship, committed relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But lately we've been having so much fight, and I can understand it's coming from the distance and not being able to meet. He cannot come, and I'm doing it less and less these days to just book a flight and everything. It's a bit difficult, but lately there are questions that are coming, like he is what is it, like not accusing, but he's not sure if I'm cheating on him or if I'm, like, this kind of questions came, and I'm trying to prove that that's not the case, and I'm having my own doubts in terms of my work, where do I go from here, and all these things. And as a woman, I'm over 30, I'm 31, and I want to figure this out, and I'm in a country where I try to fit in with the culture and everything, and yeah. So now the question is, how do I fight? Because last time we had some conversation in between. There's further questions that come from him in term, like for example, I just asked him a conversation I had with a couple of friends, and he kind of twisted it and said, "Why are they asking you like this kind of question?" And the discussion we had with the group of friends I had was concerning about circumcision and free will and all these things. So I wanted to have like this deeper conversation or some philosophy behind it, just to make a conversation. I brought this up, but he kind of twisted it like you're having this kind of conversation with men, with a guy, and of course it was a group of girls as well. But he went there and tried to accuse or try to find out what the reason behind it is. So for my side, I feel like he doesn't trust me, or he's starting not to trust me, and I don't know how to navigate this. I really want to work it out with this guy. He's very decent, nice, respectful. But how far do I go? How do I manage? Like, okay, he's sincere and everything, but he might not be ready. Are these questions about mistrust? Is it a way of getting out of the relationship? This is now what I'm questioning. Is he afraid that he cannot provide what I would need? That he's stuck with his school and everything, and then he's trying to get out of it, or is it? I don't know how to navigate this.
How long have y'all been in a relationship?
So we met January 2025, and we were official around, I would say, August. So in a relationship that they're committed, there's nothing like on the side happening.
Okay, I got you. I just needed a number, love. I just try to answer the
Sure.
questions as succinctly as possible. So almost a year, and y'all are long distance, right?
It's a long distance, yes.
Okay. How many times have you seen him in person?
In person, I went there maybe 4 or 5 times. He came once,
Okay.
so 6 times with.
Okay. Gotcha.
In
All right.
total, maybe like a week or 2 weeks maximum of duration, I would say.
Gotcha. Okay. And so y'all been together almost a year. You said that there are some financial issues on his end.
Yeah,
He doesn't really have a lot of stability. So that's one
exactly.
major problem. But then he's also making accusations about you being unfaithful. When did that start?
It started this year. Um,
Did
Maybe,
anything
yeah,
did anything
this year, like
happen?
January.
Did
We,
anything
we were having conversations. He was asking about my exes and the stuff. Maybe there was some information misalignment from my end because, yeah, I don't focus on detail as a woman. I think a lot of things I miss it, especially if it's my past. Then I don't have the concrete information. And I didn't think it mattered. My past didn't matter, and he agrees on this. Mm, yeah. So this is when it happened, like this year. Also, my job, I had what is it called? Like, I was promoted, so I have more stress at work. So it started this year, and it's a bit difficult on my end as well. I'm trying to learn this new position I have, and my distance, or the things I question, he takes it personally, like, okay, how far are you? How was the study? How was your thesis? And all these things. Maybe he's taking it personally, and then he's just questioning. Yeah.
Okay, so when you say distance, like how did your busyness impact how frequently you talk to him? What changed?
Um, I wouldn't say changed. I think we call each other almost every day. Sometimes 6 hours of chat, talking, calling, sometimes 15 to 20 minutes, but it's quite often.
Okay. So your busyness did not change how frequently you talk to him.
No.
Okay, well then that's not a problem then. So you said that he started making accusations of you cheating after he asked you questions about your past.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you said he started making accusations of cheating after asking you questions about your past.
Yeah, cheating accusations. Some of my stories are not aligning, and yeah,
Some of your stories not aligning. That's what he told you.
yeah.
Okay, so have you been 100% honest with him?
I've been 100% honest with him.
Okay, why do you feel like he thinks your stories aren't aligning? Is that a true statement?
Might be. Maybe 6, 7 months ago, maybe I have told him like a slight different story. For example, if I said like, okay, with my ex, we went here, and now I would say something else, maybe, I don't know. Or um, I mentioned that I, yeah, those things like small things where I met or we went this area, like things like this.
Okay, so
Not,
why are there inconsistencies with your stories?
yeah, I don't have the I don't have the complete. I might forget, or maybe the stories I have this just slightly changed in terms of, like, for example, we went together to Netherlands, and maybe I would say in Netherlands we stayed 3 days, then I could say 2 days the other time, like something like that's not concrete. Even now, if you could ask me, I might not remember completely, so I would say like a couple of days. But since I'm so when I'm
Okay,
saying like we stayed there 2 days, 3 days, then
gotcha.
it might change.
Okay, that's not a problem. Are those inconsistencies also happening in real time? So, for example, if he asked you what you did yesterday, are there inconsistencies there?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, that's not a problem then.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would say if he is, I gotta pause you real quick because there's an echo on your end. Um, if he is making cheating accusations without there being any kind of real evidence towards it, then he either has like trust issues he hasn't unpacked, or he is projecting what he's doing onto you. Can't tell you which one that is, but I will say this issue coupled with the monetary issue has created a real problem, right? Like you can have one of those, and even just one of those in isolation is a big enough problem, but to have the combination of both puts the relationship in very turbulent territory, right? You can't really build a strong foundation if he's going to keep making accusations. And I'm sure the accusations aren't slowing down. I'm sure you reassuring him doesn't really help. So if he is going to think someone is cheating on him, someone who's talking to him for 6 hours a day because they have some inconsistencies with the story they told of an experience that happened years ago, then he is not equipped to be in a long distance relationship. He's literally doesn't he's not equipped to be in that type of dynamic. Because if he's not like there with you in person, that insecurity is going to bubble up to the surface. Does all that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
It makes completely sense. Okay, yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think he's a man of God. He is a good man, and I don't want to be able. I feel like I'm holding out to it too much,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to prove myself consistently, trying to, yeah, like you said, reassuring, and it might not help, but I also don't want to leave just like that. I just don't wanna. I want to fight for it, but I don't know how to. You know, do
You
I
can't
do I
you
just
can't you
there?
can't fight for it, right? You can't make the relationship one sided. You cannot solve his insecurities. So if the core problem in the relationship is his insecurities, and that's being that's coupled with the monetary problem, you cannot solve those issues. You cannot make money for him, nor can you solve his insecurities. He has to do that. And if he's not putting any kind of work toward resolving those issues, the relationship is doomed to fail. You can't put the relationship on your back and try to carry it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem, love. Best luck to you.
Bye bye. Thank
All right.
you.
Mhm. Okay. Who we got next? Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I just wanted to ask, why do men sometimes like triangulate, like saying they are serious and stuff like that, and then just mention other girls and um, like maybe trying to make me jealous? And what am I supposed to say then? Like, are you trying to make me jealous, or are you trying to say that you you are not serious? Like, so confusing.
Okay. Can you give me the specific situation? Like what happened?
Mm, it's not that we were dating a long time, just like met a few times, for example, and then um, he would, I mean, this is like obviously kind of ridiculous situation, because then he would post stories with a lot of girls, because that's kind of his job. And for example, another time with someone else, we stopped meeting each other, and then he would always post also stories with other girls, and then pretending it's like serious, but then there is another day another girl, and almost like they're trying to prove a point to me. So I don't understand like what point.
What does he do for a living that requires this type of lifestyle?
Well, this one, um, he's like selling something at concerts, and and he's finding girls to sell that. And another one, he's like selling old pictures, like he's art dealer, but he's like always meeting girls.
Okay. Um, when you saw these social media pictures, did you get jealous?
No, I felt almost like they're trying to prove a point to me, so I just felt confused.
Okay. Well, the first thing, and they're posting this on like their IG story.
On WhatsApp. So it's like a little bit more personal than
Are they sending these pictures directly to you?
not directly.
Okay, but they're posting on WhatsApp like they would on social media.
Yeah, it's not like social media, just WhatsApp.
Okay, but the people who follow them or are connected to them on WhatsApp, they all can see that.
Yeah, they can
Okay.
also like place the public who they want to see it.
Okay. Can you tell if what they're posting is public or if they are wanting specific people to see it?
I noticed before he would post like kind of, if I post like a cat, then the next day he would also post how he's talking and taking pictures with a cat, and then some sad songs that is mentioning my name. So it's, I feel like it's indirectly personal.
Um, I mean, it might not be love. If he's living that type of lifestyle, the first mistake that you're making is thinking that this is all about you, right?
Yeah, of course. But
Because
then in real life, they would also mention like other girls, and then say, I don't want you to meet any other men.
when they mention other girls, what's the context? Like, what are they saying about the other women?
Like, for example, I had mm, I met another girl at this and this time, like a month ago, and then mm, mm, yeah, I just know they do.
So they don't give you any context. They just tell you that they met a woman somewhere.
Um, Wait, let me remember what exactly was said. For example, mm, mm, yeah, he said, yeah, he was in a relationship and then he said he broke up, but he said he's meeting a few girls. That's what he said.
Okay. Honestly, love, I wouldn't try to dive deep into the motivations here. Could he be trying to make you jealous? Sure. Could he also just be talking about his lifestyle? Yes, also sure. What you have to ask yourself is if you're are you comfortable with dealing with a man romantically who is going to constantly be around a bunch of women? Sounds like you're uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, what he wants is to compete. He wants me to be more like into it, like maybe more into him. He wants me to, so he's like triangulating, so I compete, but I don't do that.
Okay, that's perfectly fine, but he's also taking up a whole bunch of mental real estate, right? Because you're thinking about this and you're coming on lives asking this question, right? So it's impacting your life. So the better big picture move is just to not entertain men who live a lifestyle where they're just surrounded by women.
Mm.
It's not to sit here and try to reverse engineer their intentions and try to psychoanalyze them. All that's a waste of time. The real solution is just to not deal with men who live that type of lifestyle.
Okay, yes, that
Okay.
makes perfect sense. Yeah, I just didn't know what exactly to say, so I kind of vanished.
Yeah. Yeah, you should stay vanished and deal with men who are not going to be surrounded by women like that. Typically guys who live that type of lifestyle, they're not monogamous.
Yeah.
They're not.
Actually, when I first time met him for like a date at dinner, he said he's in a 10-year relationship with a 15-year-old younger woman.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, your lesson here is to just leave sooner once you see what type of lifestyle they live. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
love. Best of luck to you. Okay. Let's see if Oreo connects. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Um, so I have a situation and I just would like your perspective on it.
Sure.
So I've been talking to a guy for about 4 months, but I feel like he might want to move in the future. And I do have a small business here in Canada, and um, I don't I don't really know if I will be willing to move. And I did try to talk to him about it, but I feel like he's sort of simplifying it. And I'm kind of like stuck whether to go into a committed relationship with him or just cut it off right now.
Okay. When you talked to him about it, what was his response?
He said, because I'm a nail tech right now, he said you can always get a new client anywhere you go.
Okay, so you're not but you're not open to moving.
I thought I could, but I feel like I don't want to move in this and then like feel like I'm putting my life on hold because I feel like this business could really grow and become something.
Okay, so you have like your own shop?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, then don't move. That's the easy solution. So if you're unwilling to move and he's unwilling to move, then y'all are not compatible.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
I just got a question. Right now, I'm 26 and I was dating a guy. He's 48 and I
Whoa.
have one son. So the guy, he always provided me or helped me going through life. We've been together for 8 months, and whatever I don't like about him is he don't show his phone at all. So every time if I ask about his phone, he'd be like, "Why you worry about the phone? Like I'm here giving you a good life or a peace life, or I'm helping you going through everything you need. Why you always worry about my phone?" And then one time we was living together, and his phone ring. I was like, "Why don't you answer?" He'd be like, "Oh no, you don't have to worry about that." And then he answered because I keep asking him like, "Why don't you keep answering your phone if somebody calling you like 4 or 5 times?" And then he answered, literally he say, "Oh yeah, I guess it's somebody that know me, or he talk about me, maybe like this crazy girl called me this I don't know how he explained me to other person." But he just answered. He was like, "Oh yeah," and then he hung up. And then I was like, "You gotta show me your phone." He was like, "No, why don't you worry? Why you keep worrying about my?" Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And then he was like, "Oh, it's a scammer." I was like, how a scammer call you at 8 p.m.? I was around 8. That's when he take his break whenever he worked. And then I was like, "Oh, you gotta go." I let him go. And then I talked to myself. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm just tripping about it." So I let him come back again. And then every time we together, he started turning off his phone. Like he put a mute no matter what. Like when he sleep, he put it under his pillow, or he just don't use it at all. So I told him, it just because you here with me every time you off don't mean you're not cheating or you're not doing anything. And then he was like, "How you think I'm gonna cheat if I'm coming to you every time on my off days? Don't you think the other person don't want me to give them my off times or be with them or something like that?" And then we live in a different state. So, and then I went with him again. So when I went, his phone ring again, and then I was like, "Oh, somebody call you." And he started saying, "Oh, all she want is money." I was like, "Why would you say that? It's somebody you've been talking to. She's not just gonna call you today and just ask about money, you know?" And then he was like, "I just told you all she wants." She was from different country, like way different, but he's American. But he say that, and then I told him, "Why would somebody call you if they don't? How she just call you out of nowhere and ask about money?" And then every time, and then I was like, "Open the text." He takes every text that I see. It's just like, "Hey, love, I just get off work," or this. We don't even talk like that. We don't use any love words. We dating, but we never say like, "Oh, I love you," this, bye, or like he don't talk to me like that's a girlfriend. We dating, but we don't talk like that. So I get jealous and asking him, why would you talk to somebody like that? And then I just told you that's how we talk to people out of country. Then I said, if you are American, why would you talk to somebody from out of country? And then he was like, just don't worry about it. You don't have to find you good. Like, I'm take care of you. Like, anytime if you want to move out or stay, he got a house. So he used that as excuse to make my life easier. But I'm still not sure if this man is cheating on me or not cheating on me.
What's your question here, love? She keeps losing her connection. So I would say probably worried about the wrong phone. We got to get you off Boost Mobile first. Once we make that transition, then we can focus on other people's phones. Guys obviously cheating though. Right? It's obvious. There's no need to gaslight yourself. It's obviously cheating. Come on. Putting the phone underneath the pillow. Like, y'all gotta understand when, like, that's what you got. These women say they want these provider men, and I understand it. But if you want someone that's gonna pay for your whole lifestyle, like, often they are controlling. That's part of the unspoken contract. Is okay. I pay for everything for you, but I get to do what I want because I'm paying for everything for you, right? You don't. I'm not saying there's no guy like that who will pay for everything and then also be faithful. Like, those guys exist. Those are normally like religious guys though, right? But oftentimes that's the trade-off. That's the trade-off. That's the trade-off that you're signing up for. So yeah, and then y'all long distance too. You got to ask yourself, if it's too good to be true, then it's too good to be true. Y'all are long distance. Y'all are just dating. You're not even in a relationship, and he's paying for everything. It's too good to be true, beloved. So what is the cost here? That's how you have to think. What am I really signing up for? Most of the time, when guys do that, they're going to, especially in that way, where y'all just dating and he's paying for everything. Yeah, you probably were one of a few women who he had that arrangement with. All right, let's keep it moving. Hello. Hello. Okay. Yeah, she was at the grocery store, wasn't she? Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great.
So, this is like my situation, even though like I have an answer to it, but I kind of don't have an answer. There's this guy, obviously, that I've been like talking back and forth with. I had met him on a dating site. We both work for a major airline as flight crew, but I met him, like I said, on a dating site back in December. We had talked, seen each other like 3 times, and then like we kind of just continued it, and then like back on my birthday in on the 24th of February, I reached back out like a hey, how are you doing? Kind of broke no contact situation, and then ever since then he like engaged, initiated text back and forth like constantly, sending pictures throughout his day, and just back and forth for like the past like 3 weeks or so till now.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got the answer. I paused.
No, you're good. All right, keep going.
Sorry. Yeah, I finally I finally just kept on like, it took me a while to get the answer from him because I was just like, I'm tired of this. I can't keep going back and forth, hot and cold. Me initiating a couple days because like I said something to him, and then all of a sudden like him coming back and talking, And then like I asked him like I wanted a clear answer, and he had given me an answer is like, I don't want a relationship out of whatever this is. So it's like, okay, why can't you say this friendship? Or like, to my mind, to mind you, I'm an anxious attachment style. I figured that out in therapy recently. And I just don't like that it's like, I'm obviously like found myself like addicted to this like, this like, they call it like, I guess like dopamine, whatever situation. And then like, I let it, one night I was like, you know what? I talked to my therapist. I sent him some text during the day. Didn't hear back, left him alone. She's like, why don't you just like kind of just give it 24 hours of not talking to him? I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna do that. So I left him alone. He replied eventually to like a few texts. I was like, I'm not responding. Like as much as I want to, I'm not responding. And then he apologized when he saw that I didn't reply. Usually I'm, a very available person. And he's like, I'm sorry I was out all day. So I'm like, okay, why is he apologizing? But I'm still not texting. And then like the next day, I had the one time I'm taking my daughter, like because we have flight benefits, like to Universal Studios in Orlando. Like he I guess walked by because he's in work, uniform or whatever. And she's like seen him on FaceTime or whatever because like she's 8. She like popped into the phone one day. She goes, there's Tyler. And I'm like, I'm not paying attention. I turn around and I look and I'm like, oh, I should have said anything, but whatever. I turn around and I look and yeah, it's him, whatever. So like I started just to text. Like, oh, did you just come to the airport? Oh, well, yeah, I did. And then throughout the day he's texting and I leave him alone. I'm like, I'm not entertaining this anymore. I'm gonna enjoy the day with my daughter. So then now, this is the first day he initiates a text later that evening. And then the next day I responded a little bit and then I left it alone. And he initiates another text. And then I'm just like, why do we keep going back and forth if he doesn't want anything? I want to cut this off. But like, of course, like every time I see a text from him, and then like he did something new that triggered my, I guess, anxious attachment style. Like he said, sorry, it's a long story, but this is coming short. He had said, like, hey, I'm with the fam. Can you chat later? And he's never like experienced like why he goes ghost during the day to me before. He never like has a reason. Like, so in my mind, I'm like, I came to this weird conclusion. Like, I had assumed something like, okay, this is got to be his way of saying, don't text my phone. Like maybe he's with another girl. He's like making an excuse that he's with his family, but saying like, hey, I'm doing this. I guess his way of like not getting my name to come to his phone, but like any guy can just block me for a little bit and then unblock me, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know if that's also his way. Now I thought about it after I like reacted to it. I was like, oh damn, what if that's his way of like, because I ignored him the other day, he had apologized for it. Maybe he wants to make it clear, like, hey, I'm gonna be doing this. I was like, why does he care? Like, why is he still initiating text? I'm like, I want to cut it off, but I'm still like addicted to it. Like, as the other day, I sent like on purpose, like like the other night, like a friend zone kind of text. I was like, oh, because like we did establish like, or I had made it out there, like, I do like your conversations too, because he told me, he's like, I enjoy our conversations. But like, so I kind of made that my fault, I guess. And then, I sent like a friendlier text, like, since we're friendly, and I like asked him, like, I put it out there, like, on purpose, like, a dating thing, like, almost not dating advice, just like made a joke. And then he kind of like brought up something, and then he brought up something from the past that when we first initially started dating, I had said, like, just little, like, reminder things, like, oh, you told me this,
Okay,
like...
Natasha, what's the
Sorry,
question?
I'm talking too much.
Yeah.
I know I talk too much. I'm just trying to get the story out. But, like, I'm just, like, want to know, like, why does he consist? Like, why, if he doesn't want me, like, why do... It's the first time I've been through this before, right? Okay. Either I date the guy, or they ghost me, and then they go the way... I go my way, they go their way. So, no, I've never been so confused in my life.
Okay, what is the core problem here? Because I kind of got lost with all the details.
Oh, I'm sorry, like, the fact that, like, why do we keep going back and forth with each other? Like, if he doesn't want something, like, why do you keep bothering me?
Because you're entertaining it.
Oh.
Right, you can end this at any moment by just not responding or just ending the connection. But you're entertaining it. So it's going to continue to happen. Okay.
I've never had a guy who, like, shows interest, acts like interest, but, like, doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they often want to sleep with you.
Well, he does. I put it out there, and like I said, like we could do this or that, and he doesn't even talk about sex or intimate stuff at all through text.
Okay.
That's the weird thing. It's like he'll ask me like, "How was my daughter and I's trip? Like, what are we up to? Blah blah blah. How's the day? Like, why do you care? Why do you care about what my day's like?"
Gotcha. And he's showing signs that he doesn't want anything serious at the same time.
I don't want a relationship out of whatever this is. So what is it?
Yeah. Just leave him
And he
alone.
explained to me that his guard, for dating wise, he did share with me that he was like, my guard is up like the border wall. I'm like, okay, I get that. Thanks for sharing.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you just leave it alone, right? There's no need to try to figure it out. Just what you should focus on is whether or not you're in alignment with the person that you're dealing with. It's the only question you should ask. You should not be asking yourself, why are they doing X, Y, and Z? You should only ask yourself, am I in alignment with this person? If the answer to that question is no, then just end it.
Yeah.
You waste time. You waste time like trying to psychoanalyze people and see what their motivations are. It's not important. It doesn't, even if you magically had an answer, it doesn't change the situation.
Yeah. At the end of the day, he already told me he does not want a relationship out of this. So.
Right. So you know it doesn't end in a relationship. So if you want a relationship, then you're effectively wasting your time.
Definitely. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I went on for a long story. I just feel like there's just so much confusion. Like, well.
You're good.
So I'm just cut it off. I have cut it off. I just hate that he brings up details about us. That bothers me. Anyway, thank you.
No problem, love. You take care. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. I can't hear you well. Give me a sec. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I would just like your perspective. So I live in Aruba, and in 2019, I met this guy who was on a company incentive trip. We did hook up that week, and we kept in contact, right? So 2021, I went to stay with him for a few days at his place in Philly. I came back, and we've been in contact ever since. He had asked me many times to visit, but I did not, because I don't really want to get too attached. He's a very dry person, and I'm not sure about the way he feels about me. Anyways, I went to Florida for my birthday trip. This week, I just came back yesterday, and he flew out to see me, but he flew in the 22nd, the night of the 22nd. We had the 23rd together the entire day, and then I flew back the 24th, which was yesterday. So I would just like your perspective, because I'm very confused, but I don't want to force him to open up because he's a very dry person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's like 40 and I'm 35. He doesn't have any kids. He's never been married. I feel like he has attachment issues.
So what is the question here? Did you hear me? What's the question?
I'm sorry?
What's the question that you have here?
No, I would just like your perspective. Like, do you think I should just cut it off because it's been a few years and I don't think it's going to go anywhere at this point?
So it's been a few years since you've met him. And y'all are long distance, right?
Yes.
Okay. How frequently do y'all see one another?
He wanted me to visit more frequently. Like, he said every 3 months or so, but the last time I saw him before last week was 2021. I really didn't go back. And he asked if he could come to Aruba, and I said no.
Okay. How far away do y'all live? Like, what's the distance look like?
Flight time, 4 hours.
Flight time, 4 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I would leave this alone. If you haven't seen him since 2021, there's really no point here.
No, I saw him 2 days ago. So, like, I went to Florida and he flew out to see me.
Okay. And
So it's like he says he wants to see me, but then like I don't feel it. He's just very dry.
what does very dry mean?
Oh, so certain rules. When he was in a relationship, and he's the same with me. He doesn't sleep on the same bed with his girlfriend. He wants to sleep separately. A separate room would be even better for him.
Okay. So because of that, you're calling him dry?
Yeah, he doesn't hold my hand. When I kiss him, it's more like a smooch than a very intimate kiss.
Okay. And
That's dry.
so none of that works for you, right? Is that what you want in a relationship?
Yeah, I would need someone a bit more affectionate. Like the sleeping separately, that's fine by me. I did it when I was at his place. I actually liked it. When we wanted to spend time together, we got together in the same room, and then when we wanted to be alone, we separated.
Okay, I
So
got you.
that's fine.
Yeah. So, but you're saying
It's
you're
just
saying that you would only want to be with someone who's more affectionate,
yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, I think
and
so.
and he's not affectionate.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so then you can't be with him, right?
I think I'm trying to convince myself otherwise.
Yeah, that's clear. But like, you can't be with someone who's not affectionate, and he's not affectionate, so y'all are incompatible.
Okay. All right. So then I have my answer.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye. Hello. She didn't mean to come up. Cece, are you requesting? Gotta be honest, I'm not liking the questions today. They're very, very simple. It's not, it's fun for me to solve complicated issues, but the questions today have been like, kind of like no shit questions, to be honest with you. What's going on, Cece?
I know that you know what's happening in the comments. Do you mind if I address it?
What's happening in the comments?
Okay, so when it comes to the all caps sort of situation, I am more mindful about it, and I don't allow people to do it only because when you're doing all caps for a negative thing, it seems like either you're yelling or you're being overly aggressive in the situation. So people coming up, we already want them to come up in the panel, and then you have like, get it, the regular comments, they're gonna just keep going. But people pay attention to the comments. And DJ Earl, you've been here, so you know we ask people in the
Okay.
panel to not.
Let's not call people. Let's not call people out specifically. But I agree.
But-
So if we're no all caps, no spamming negativity, because that's going to deter people from coming up in the first place. Then we won't have a show. Right. So you can disagree. You can agree, you can disagree with what people are saying, but let's not be very aggressive in the place where it's like people are now scared to come up to avoid your wrath, right?
Right.
Yes.
Welcoming in, asking people to tap, I'm all for it. There's a difference. You want to be supportive and show up and be like, hey, y'all, let's get these taps up. Don't forget to share and repost and do all that. That's the support. So, that's what I'm saying. So we just want to be mindful and not set a tone that if you allow it, then other people are going to do it. So that's the other part, that when mods are saying, hey, don't do that, like, you have to be mindful of there's people are going to pay attention to that getting not addressed, and they're going to think, oh, well, I could do it too. And then they take it to the next level, and then the next level, and then the live gets out of control. So we are definitely reading those comments and trying to filter it out, so that way, again, yeah, we get it. People disagree, people say stuff and want to, whatever, but
Right.
we also want a show.
Exactly. Yeah, you can leave spicy comments, just don't spam it for one, and try to not get to the point where it's disrespectful, because then it's like, we're starting to deter people. We don't want that. We don't want that, especially on a day like today, where I would love to have an interesting question. But so far, we've not had any real interesting. Well, not for me. Like the people obviously have been helped. So no shade to anyone who's come up. But like, for me, I'm stimulated by interesting questions, and I haven't got one yet. So,
Right. So,
Well, I
okay.
appreciate you, CC. Appreciate you
Thank
keeping the
you.
chat in order.
And I will say though, just a shout out to the chat for the last 2 days. They have been sharing these reposts are like mad crazy, and I feel like hopefully that will start to help the getting more people. You've been getting 300, but we want to see that 500 again for sure.
Absolutely.
So
Shout out to y'all. Shout
yeah,
out to the gifters
yeah.
as well. I see you. I
They come
appreciate
in and
it.
like they're ready. They're already doing it. So it's like yes,
Mm-hmm.
they got it. So yeah. All right. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you, CC. Do we have another caller? No. Okay. If y'all want to call in, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. Request up. I'll bring you up. You can also drop your question in the chat. Just know that callers get first priority. Okay. Hopefully someone out there has a real juicy problem that I can sink my teeth into. No light. He's not texting me back. What does that mean? Shit like that. That's not interesting. I think I was one that muted you, so I had to show you extra love the next time. We need less venting. Yeah, no venting would definitely help, right? For sure. For sure. All right, who's this? Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Just scroll past. This is the first time I've ever seen you live, but I think I might have a juicy situation for you.
All right, what's going on?
I am in a long distance relationship with my girlfriend in the moment. Been together for about maybe 8 months, and I'm afraid I am starting to notice a pattern of narcissistic behavior, maybe.
Okay.
Recently, I brought up this point that she came to visit me. I live in Texas. She lives in New York. She came to visit me while she was here. She got the flu, and she was telling me she wanted to go to the ER, but she didn't have health insurance to do it, to pay for the bill. I have expressed at this moment, or prior to this moment, that I am not in the best financial situation either. We have agreed when she comes to visit me in Texas, I would buy groceries. She would then cook those said groceries. Feels pretty fair to me, even exchange.
Right.
I like to believe a good partnership strives to be 50-50. It doesn't always mean, I pay $50 at the groceries, you pay $50. We show up for each other in the other way. And it doesn't always have to be 50-50, but it's important that we're putting in that mutual effort to reach that.
Right.
So I take her to the ER because she tells me she's in 10 out of 10 pain.
Okay.
We don't really discuss how we're going to pay for it in the moment. I can just notice she's in pain, so I take her whenever we go. They call us up for the bill. I go up to pay without question. I swipe my credit card. Cool, we keep it moving. Head back home. As soon as we get back in the car, I tell her, hey, I know I paid for your bill, your ER bill, but I'm not in the financial position to fully cover it 100%. If you could come together and help me figure out some way to pay for this, that would be awesome. She agrees, and we agree on paying half. Cool. She goes back to New York. She's unemployed at this time as well. She gets a job, and she's has very bad memory. So I recognize that she forgets things very easily. So I bring it up to her after a couple weeks go by. I'm like, hey, just checking on an update. Just trying to follow through on what we agreed on. She says, I'm going to follow through with my word. This is a pretty calm conversation. I'm going to pay you the money. Do you have a certain time frame you need this money by? I tell her, hey, I don't feel comfortable setting a certain kind of timeline for you, knowing your situation. If you just, let me know that you're gonna pay me. That's cool. I don't feel comfortable setting a timeline for you.
Right.
Keep it moving. A couple weeks later go by, or a couple weeks go by. She's asking me advice on some purchases, some big purchases she's making. You know, she's buying this purse, she's buying some new glasses, she's buying some new shoes, and I'm giving her advice. You know, I'm saying I really like this blue one, I really like these silver glasses. You know, I'm letting her buy the things she wants to buy to make her happy with the money that she has in this moment. And at one point, I noticed one more purchase, and it's like, okay, I got to say something for myself at this point. I tell her, hey, I noticed you're making these purchases. You know, I'm beginning to feel a little disregarded in this sense. I just want to know that I'm just checking up on the bill again, you know?
Right.
And she says, immediately she's willing to pay the bill now. And she's like, oh, how much was it? I'm like, we agreed on half. And she pays it. She's like, she's telling me that she's holding resentment into why she agreed to pay half in the first place. As she thinks that basically I have created this standard that I pay for all of our food and groceries, and you know, basically if I am in her presence, I cover the bill. And in these moments when I'm asking her to cover the bill, I am lacking empathy for her situation as a broke, full-time artist black woman living in New York. And this, at this moment, activates me, because I'm like, no, like, I've been fully aware of the context of said situation, and I have been nothing but empathetic and generous with my money throughout this whole relationship.
Right.
There was these couple times where I asked her to pay her own check, and because I have always clearly communicated that I am broke in these moments, and you know, I buy groceries, she cooks the food, but now she wants to go out to eat. I can't pay for this, I need you to pay for it. And she tells me, but it's the context of how you told me, Keegan. It's you told me right before we were about to pay, you told me you're not clearly communicating before we go, so that would deter me from even going in the first place, type of thing. And at this point in my present state, I'm wondering how now me asking her to pay her ER bill has led to her basically reconsidering our relationship. I came to her, I was like, hey, our conversations go off into like so many different tangents of that don't even necessarily relate to the original point.
Right.
Like me not realizing her or understanding her situation as a black woman.
Okay.
When I'm very aware of this, and you know, when we first met, she was homeless, just kind of like moving around, and I generously would pay for our things, and
okay.
Yeah, in my opinion, this has nothing to do with, you know, this original concept of you following through, paying half of this ER bill. And now I'm getting, I feel like even gaslit on this, like, no, Keegan, like, you're such in a privileged position. If you understood my situation, you would have just paid for that full ER bill out of the kindness of your heart, because that's what you want to do as my partner.
What's your question here, champ?
I guess my question is, my partner a narcissist?
I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't go that far. Are y'all still in a relationship?
We did break up,
Okay.
but I'm trying. I think we are both trying to make things work.
She still hasn't paid that money, has she?
No, she did.
She did?
The third time I brought it up, she did. She's pulled out money out of her savings to pay it.
Okay. Nah, y'all need to stay broken up, brother. First mistake was dating someone who was homeless. You know, it's best to avoid people in survival mode. I don't mean survival mode like they live paycheck to pay. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean like literally survival mode. Like
Yeah.
they're out there hunting squirrels and shit. Like if they're living like it's the Walking Dead outside, avoid. Right? Because you won't know if they're choosing you out of true desire or out of necessity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the first thing. So that was the first mistake that was made. A lot of times when people are describing their problems, I like to trace it back to like the main problem, right? So like, cause like a lot of times we make a mistake earlier on in the process, and then we experience the second and third order effects of making that first mistake. So you think your problem is this bill shit and her being a narcissist. The real problem was your vetting, like you choosing someone who's in that situation to begin with, which created these other problems, right? So, no, I can't say she's a narcissist. Was she being manipulative? Absolutely. You don't have to be a narcissist to manipulate people. She was 100% manipulating you, though. 100%.
Yeah, I think I am. I didn't want to fully convince myself that she was a narcissist, but I'm looking back and I'm trying my best to like zoom out on these situations, like you're saying. Really look back at what the original issue is, and I was recognizing these patterns of manipulation, and it feels like I'm almost going insane at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in a state where it's like I feel like I'm going crazy and I'm questioning my mental state and my mental well-being, and that alone I think is enough to like fully exit the
100%. You look at the fruit of what this connection yields. Would you be questioning your sanity if you were not dating this woman?
Yeah.
Right. But so the fruit of you connecting, appreciate you, Duchess. The fruit of you connecting with her is you questioning your sanity. So that alone tells me the connection isn't going to work. How long have y'all been together?
We've been together a little under a year, and it's always been long distance, which is like kind of the hard thing for me. It's like I almost want to refuse to give up when we haven't even really given our chance.
You're thinking about it. You're thinking about it the wrong way. There should not be that much friction in an early stage relationship. Things should be y'all are still like the honeymoon phase can last anywhere between like 6 months to like a year and a half, right? Depending on how long how frequently you see each other. Y'all are long distance. You're not supposed to be having these type of problems.
Yeah.
In a relationship that's under a year and it's long distance. So like the equivalent of like a relationship where the people are not long distance would be like a 3 to 6 month long relationship. You're still in honeymoon phase territory. People are still somewhat on their best behavior at this phase. So you still haven't seen a lot of their darkness. You got a glimpse of it in this situation, right? It was going to get a lot darker.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, this is something that you have to avoid, my man. She is going to continue to manipulate you. This is a character flaw on her part. And it would have been best if she just told you that she couldn't pay it for whatever reason. But she didn't go, she went further than that and then tried to weaponize her life situation and then frame the connection as like, well, the dynamic that you set up was you pay for things when I'm not here. And you can even make the argument that that's probably like somebody else influencing her because she waited so long to make that point. But whether or not that's the case doesn't matter. You can't be with someone who's going to attempt to manipulate you.
For sure. Yeah.
So You have to respect yourself more than that. Being with this woman would absolutely ruin your peace of mind, right? Um, yeah. So yeah, that's the advice to you. Okay.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother.
Hope you have a good day.
All right. Take care, man. All right, Morgan. What's going on?
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to make this as short as possible. This goes back to July last year. That's when I started talking to the guy in question, and we met through a mutual friend. They went to college together. It was kind of a long distance situation because, funny enough, like the last guy, it was New York, Texas was the difference, except for the fact that I'm originally from Europe. So whenever I was not in New York, it was long distance.
Mm-hmm.
But we started talking in July. We talked for that whole month. Then in August, we met up for the first time. We all went to Detroit for like a friend's trip, and that's where we properly met in person, and everything was great. And then later in August, I went to Texas for his birthday, and what was supposed to be a 6-day trip ended up in 2 weeks with me going back to New York for 6 days and spending my last 2 weeks in the US in Texas too, which was great. Nothing was wrong. It was very easy, very smooth, no issues. And then I had to go back to Europe for 2 months because I was still in my visa process. So I went back for 2 months, and to be fair, that whole long distance was very easy. We basically fell asleep on the phone every night. Like we talked, the communication was more than enough. It made the 2 months go by really fast, basically. And then I had my 3 months on what was then still a tourist visa, and it was kind of an unspoken rule that I was just going to spend the 3 months with him, and we spent Thanksgiving together and ended up spending Christmas together too because he wasn't able to go back home because of work, and it was just a very like easy 3 months. And obviously you have your differences and discussions, and what I did notice with him is that his way of communicating is not necessarily my way, and I guess I'm coming to you because I kind of want like a men's perspective from this, because at the end of the day we are wired differently, and that's okay. But for me, it's like I'm someone who very much wants to solve problems in the moment, and I don't want to go to sleep angry, and I just rather fix things as fast as possible. And he's someone that needs a bit more time before he can speak, I guess, which is no problem. But I think my problem is that it comes from a shutdown. So it's not like him communicating, hey, like, I need some time, let's talk in 2 hours. It comes from like irritation and then a shutdown. And then usually it just gets forgotten and we move past it. And I obviously don't want to sit there 2 days in arguing, so I just basically let it go too. And this was like about minor things, but then so within the 3 months I was here, so I was here from November till February, my visa got approved. So I only had to go back to Europe to do my interview. That was like a week and a half, and then I came back. So it was like official. And before that, we had spoken, but he had asked me like, would you move over here? And my job is a job where I can work from anywhere. So, and he can't. So obviously to prevent long distance, that would be the easier move. So I came back here, and at some point, like, he is not somebody who's secretive with his phone at all. There was no reason for me to question anything. He's always on his phone in front of me. But then one night, and what also didn't help is we were drinking that night. I saw something on his phone that for some reason gave me an unsettling feeling. I saw a certain person in the Instagram DMs that gave me an unsettling feeling. Now I will say my last relationship was the first relationship ever that I got betrayed and cheated on like really bad. So I didn't date for like 2 years after that. But it did trigger something in me. And I mean, I know his password and everything, so I checked, which obviously is not something you're supposed to do, but I did. But it did confirm my unsettling feeling, which was an inappropriate message to somebody he knew from 10 years ago in October, which makes it difficult because we're in March, right? So I obviously that triggered something in me because of my previous relationship, and we were already exclusive at the time. So I lost my shit in a way that I didn't cuss him out. I didn't put hands on him, but I did yell. And that's not good. I'm not gonna say that's good, but yeah, in that moment, I was very hurt and it came out that way. And after that, I feel like even though, so the next day we had a conversation about it, and just because, like I said, his communication style is not always the easiest. It wasn't the best conversation. It was like him being annoyed about the situation. He will say like, "I'm not annoyed with you, but I'm annoyed about the situation," um, which leads him to come across irritated, which obviously does not give me any reassurance or feel like I'm cared for in that moment. So that conversation was kind of shit. And he did apologize. He did admit that he was wrong. He did delete the girl. And he said, but it was only those 4 sentences you saw. I haven't seen her in forever. So your reaction to it was too much. So me yelling about it. I said I'm not gonna say that me yelling about it is good, but obviously, like, you're not really giving me a feeling where I can stay calm in that situation. So I was very unsettled still after that situation. I just let it go because I knew in that moment it wasn't gonna go anywhere. So the next couple of days, that feeling kind of built up in me. And then over the weekend, we kind of argued about it again. And I was just really hurt. I think I was more hurt from how he handled it than from what was actually said in the messages, because that is it's not right and it's not good, but it's whatever. I think it's more so you not feeling like you should not go out of your way, but at least make me feel better about it and make sure it's not going to happen again.
Okay.
So it happened again, and then the next day he just made everything more about my reaction to what happened than to what actually happened. And initially he was like, okay, I'm just done.
What happened again?
Sorry?
What happened again?
Oh, we argued about it again because obviously that was still like unsettled for me because we never had like a very nice conversation about it because he was just annoyed.
What do you mean a nice conversation? I thought you said that he deleted the person and then said he apologized.
Well, he apologized, but it wasn't like he apologized because in that conversation I said you haven't apologized yet, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm sorry," but it wasn't like, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Like obviously that was dumb. It's never gonna happen again. It was more so almost like I did something wrong, almost.
What were you what were you expecting to be different if you were going to keep bringing it up?
Sorry.
What were you expecting to be different by you keep bringing it up?
I think what I miss from him in that conversation is like the genuine care about it hurting me. I think it was in that moment, in that conversation, it more so felt like he was just having the conversation because he felt like he had to, and he apologized because that's the right thing to do. But nothing in that conversation kind of made me feel like, oh, I really fucked up and I never want to hurt you like that. So.
Okay, so what is your question about this situation?
The question about the situation now is like, he was done after me raising my voice, then he wasn't done. We had a great 2 weeks after that. Everything went back to normal. We made a lot of plans, and out of the blue he was done again. I obviously just moved here officially, so I'm still in his house right now. It's a weird situation because I'm here, but and we're like somewhat normal and somewhat not, and he's still, cuddles me at night, but then I don't know what the day is gonna look like the next day.
Okay.
It's just
What's your question, love?
like, what should I do?
Okay. So you said that he was done again. What did he break up for you recently? Like, what was the reason?
That I yelled about that situation, and I did take full accountability for that because I am I don't like that. I'm not an angry person.
Okay. How long have y'all been in a relationship?
Like, well, the whole thing is like 9 months ago, and relationship like 6.
So y'all been together for 6 months?
Yeah,
Okay. How long did y'all date before y'all got into a relationship?
3 months.
Okay. All right. And y'all were long distance?
Out of the whole situation, we were long distance for like the 2 months that I was back in Europe. But other than that, we've been together basically every day.
Okay. So you moved from Europe to into his house
Yes.
after after dating for 3 months?
No, after the now since March, it's like officially me being here. Like before, it was just me visiting him because I used to be in New
How
York
long? How
before that.
long? How long did were y'all in a relationship before you moved in?
Yeah, basically the 6 months because I moved. Well, end of February, officially moved back here.
Okay, so y'all were in a relationship for 6 months before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this seems like just a textbook anxious avoidant cycle.
Yeah.
Like you're obviously anxious, so like you wanting to talk about the situation over and over and over again was you trying to control his reaction.
Mhm.
You wanted him to engage you in the exact way that you wanted to engage. He doesn't have the capacity for that, right?
Right.
And then you just kept pushing, and that's annoying to him because he's like, I already
Mhm.
said, I'm sorry. I already said I'm not gonna do it anymore. You keep bringing this up. Now it's annoying me, right?
Yeah.
And then you're yelling about it. So yeah, it's just a
Mhm.
textbook anxious avoidant cycle. That's why I have to be careful with long distance relationships because typically avoidant people are more open to it. And then you close the gap and then you see the real person, right? Their avoidant
Right.
side activates and then you get discarded. And now you're in a man's house who has discarded you and you don't know what to do. The relationship is not going to work. I can tell you
Yeah.
that. More than likely, it's not going to work. Like, if you're with an avoidant person and you are going to have some conflict, the best way to handle it is I wanted to talk about this thing. No pressure. We don't have to talk about it now. Just let me know when you would like to discuss. That
Right.
way they can come to you when they're ready, right? Now you tell that to people and they get annoyed, like, why should I have to? And it's like, well, you don't have to. You can not be with the person. But if you want to
Right.
be with the person, that's how you have to engage it, right? So it seems like both of you have low capacity. Like you are very anxious and he seems to be very avoidant. So this, I have no faith in this working. So your best bet is to just, try to find your way back to independence.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem, love. Best luck to you, though.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Pepsi girl, my bad, love. I ain't mean to mute you.
No, you're fine. Okay. My question is, I'm 18, by the way.
Okay.
My question is like, is it weird that like all of a sudden, like he told his like best friend that me and him are like together, but like he wouldn't tell like anyone else, and he wouldn't tell his family.
How long have y'all been together?
5 months.
Okay. He told his best friend, but he hasn't told his family. Um, why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Gotcha. Why is that a problem to you? Do you feel like it means that you're not, he's
Because I
not
think
serious?
like by now his family should like know that we're together.
Okay. Okay. Um, have you talked to him about it?
Yeah, but he just tells me don't worry about it.
Okay. I mean, there could be many reasons for this. He could just, you don't know the dynamics he has with his family. He could be embarrassed by that, and maybe there's a reason why he doesn't want them to know he's in a relationship. I would be more concerned if nobody knew, but you're saying that his best friend knows.
His best friend knows, but like no one else.
Okay.
Just her.
No one else would include like the. You said just her. His best friend's a woman.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
No, they got nothing.
Okay, I was about to say that one. That's the real concern. Um. Okay. Um. I would definitely. When you say nobody else knows, like who else is supposed to know? Like, do y'all go out in public together?
I mean, like, I would think like his friends should know and his family.
Okay, so only his female best friend knows, but his other friends don't know. How
Yes.
do you know they don't know?
Because every time that we're around them, they ask him like if we're like together, and he says no, we're just friends.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, you didn't describe it with clarity. Like, if he's denying you in front of other people, like his friends, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, you should probably leave that situation, love. That's the real tell. It's not the family thing. It's the unless like you're around his family as well and he's doing the same thing.
He he's doing the same thing to his family too.
Okay, yeah, that's a problem. What I thought you meant
But
was
like
like he told. Go ahead.
I also think that it could be like the skin color because he's black and I'm white, so it could be that.
Even
I
if
don't
that,
know.
even if that is the case, you still can't be with someone like that.
Okay.
Even if that is the truth, it still won't work. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
love.
you.
No problem. You have a good one. I wonder if that's why she calls herself Pepsi Girl. Is she into black guys? And Pepsi is like a euphemism? What do y'all think? No more calls. Let me stop streaming on